I just wanna see you smile, you already know the vibes. Put it on the kid, go ahead and slow wine. If you really about it dying, baby, show me what's mine.
Hey, hey.
I'm just trying to make you bounce. Something to remember when a nigga out of town.
Hey.
25 minutes in our section with some loud. Let me holla at the DJ for a minute, then we out. Slide through the city, later night, let's go wild. We won't make it to the bed, so let's settle for the couch. $1 million body,
Yeah, fam. Figure out a proper way to word this, you know what I mean?
Correct.
Real proper way to word this.
Got their sights on that one, yo.
It's a difficult topic. That's a real difficult one. We'll get it out. We'll get it right.
Back at it. We back at it.
Check your ego.
Yes, sir.
We here. GK Nestle in the building. X in the building.
Yes, sir.
We back here again for another one.
How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Trying to digest the last week's podcast. I think that was a real dope one so far. That was probably the best one so far.
There's a lot in it, man.
There was a lot in that one still. We're feeling good. Hope everybody out there is feeling good. Appreciate the love we're getting. The new subscribers, appreciate you. Hold it down with us. You know, we're gonna continue to give you guys content. We want to hear from you guys, so let us know. Ring off in those comments what you want to hear, if you disagree or agree with what we're saying, and also if you think we need to check our egos, you know what I mean? Because that's really the whole point of this podcast.
You know, let me say something, man. Because a lot of times I go back and forth with people, like, you know, I'm like, yo, why don't you just say that out there? Why don't you just say that in the comments? But it's like, some people don't feel comfortable saying it, you know what I'm saying? You gotta understand me, you were in front of the camera saying it to the whole world, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's gonna be documented because it's staying on the internet for, you know, X amount of years. You guys don't want to throw some in the comments, but you go back in the DMs. I'm like, yo, you guys need to drop that, bro. You say it in the comments and let people like it or challenge you on it, man. Don't worry about all that stuff, man.
Facts.
Just throw it out there, for real, for real.
Facts. But we here. We're gonna kick it off. How you feeling today?
I'm good, man. You know what I'm saying? End of the weekend.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean?
I feel like I want to address this because I had spoken to someone that I've known for a long time, and one of the questions that she wanted answered was rare. It was the topic is rare. She wanted to know you know, why it seems like men completely disregard rare women and just go for regular women. And I'm gonna try and give my perspective on it. And I don't want to throw her out to the wolves or anything like that. So if you're watching this, I just want you to know, you know, this comes from a place of love, and I've never been the type of person to tell people what they want to hear. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear, right? So when we speak of the word rare, to me, first thing that comes to mind is something or somebody that I'm really gonna have a hard time finding again in this lifetime, right? So if you feel like a man, if you feel like you're rare, the first thing you gotta ask yourself as a person is what qualities do you think qualify as rare? Like what deems you as rare, right? I think a lot of times women think if they're loyal and they're supportive, and they just do what a man says, and they're always there for the man, and even if he's, you know, not treating you the way you should, you're there for him. I think women think that classifies them as rare, and personally, I don't see it that way. Sometimes I think that classifies you as naive. Rare for me, if we're talking about a woman that's rare, she's got to be putting something into my spirit. She's got to be putting something into my soul that another woman can't necessarily do, right? So we're not talking about sex. A man can get sex from any woman. We're not talking about money, because a man can get money from any woman. We're not talking about a woman that is just completely submissive, because a man can get that from any other woman too. What we're talking about is what you're putting into his soul. What are you feeding him that drives him, that shows him that he can be a better person, that he can achieve what he wants to achieve in life, and not just that, but what he's able to instill into you as well. So to that person, again, I'm saying this with love, but I just hope that you really sit there and think about what classifies you as rare and what qualities you think that you've shown to men in your life that deems you as rare.
Would you
wanna
ever
get into that?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's stay on the topic because now it's sparking more things in my head where it's just like, yo, would you ever throw that out there that you are a rare breed? Would you throw it out in a relationship that you're a rare breed?
Man, I got it put on my hand. I know I'm a rare breed. You know what I mean? I feel like when it comes to speaking truth, I think I do that very well in a relationship. Again, like I said, I've never been the type of person to say what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And I think in past relationships, that's really what has done me in, because I don't think that's a concept that many people like to embrace. You know what I mean? We're all creatures of emotion. We all hold our emotions dear, and when we put our emotions on the front line, sometimes that blocks out what we really need to be hearing. You know what I'm saying? We get emotional, our egos kick in, our pride kicks in, and we're not really able to see the truth. But for sure, I believe I'm rare. I think you should believe you're rare, but at the same time, you got to examine why. You can't just say that shit. You know what I mean?
Man, I can just see so many people just throwing that word out there just so loosely, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
man, you know, I don't think it hurts you to say that, you know, you're a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? You're something that's being constructed to a stronger form. So even if you feel like you're not the best person or the best form at 20 years old, at 25 years old, I don't think you should frown yourself to say that, you know, maybe you're not in your fullest form yet. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I don't feel like everybody should just automatically just feel right out the gate. So again, I'm going to challenge something you said. You should feel like you're rare. I don't feel like anyone, you know, you should just feel right out the gate that you're this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're basically saying that you're something, you know, rare or something that you can't get often.
Right.
It's hardly found.
Right.
Imagine if everyone thought they were a vibe and a spirit that was hardly found, and you know what I mean. No one matches their, you know, their level. And I'm only saying that in a way where it's like, you know, you just, again, like you said, part of it has to go back to, you know, really deep down in yourself and figure out, you know, what makes you rare. Why are you calling yourself rare versus your friend?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You hang with 4 girls, they think they're rare too. What makes you different from them? You know what I'm saying? What makes your qualities that you find in yourself, you know, different from them?
I think that's part of the journey in life, man. I think at the end of the day, I think everybody has those qualities. It's just it comes down to the vibration that you hold, and are you able to tap into that? And are you able to examine yourself and be like, okay, this is what I can do differently than anybody else. And I think between the food, the programming, the media, you know, alcohol, drugs, all of those things dull our vibrations down. So a lot of the time, people aren't able to identify what makes them rare. You see what I'm saying?
So are you taking shots?
I'm not taking no shots today. What you sipping on? We not giving no promo.
No, so I'm just,
you're coming at it like that.
You
Nah,
said
man,
alcohol.
nah. But you know what I mean? That's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, man, anything you do, right? Anything you do, I want you just to own up to your actions, right? Whether you did something in the past that was harmful, I'm just to go back to the question, right? I'm a work in progress, and I know that. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I know for a fact I'm not just here just to live day by day. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, check out when it's time to check out. That's not me. And at heart, and I believe that's not me. So it's not up for me to say that I'm rare. It's the end of the chapter, end of the day when I live my, you know, when I live my 100 years, if that's what God has for me. You know what I'm saying? Then we can take a look at my whole path and say, did my whole path rare? Did every move that I make is rare? Because I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, people like to chat a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think a lot of people like to throw things in the air. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully people catch their drift. Cool. Like, I'm not for it. I'm not a guy, like, I like to be vocal a lot about things I do, and a lot of people get misconceptions.
Yeah.
You know, misinterpret a lot of things that I do. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you're gonna see how I, you know, impacted your life. You know what I'm saying? When I'm with you, you're gonna see how it impacted your life, whether it's good or if it's bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you said, you know, a lot of people don't like hearing the truth, and it's a fact. If you tell someone the truth, it could come off as harmful.
100%.
But the delivery is also key. A lot of people
100%.
think they're entitled to deliver that message to them in a harmful way. What makes you the person that needs to, you know, that gives you the right to tell someone about themselves? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And if you live day by day thinking that you are the person that needs to give them the truth every time, then I think you're also need to check yourself too, because who gave you the right to tell someone about themselves? You know what I'm saying? And that's my approach on it. So again, I think, you know, your close ones should be able to speak to you and give you what you need. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, don't be the person where you feel like you're at a level where you can always bap bap bap. You can just jab at people's character, because just know that, you know, people have thick words for you too. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, if you put them in a box or, you know, against the wall, they're gonna jab at you too and say this, this. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I think everyone's a work in progress. So as long as you deem yourself a work in progress, and you're working on yourself, and you're truly working on yourself, whether it's mind, physically, you know what I mean, anything else like that, I think you can appreciate a lot more. You know what I'm saying? So don't just go out and start throwing I'm a rare breed and go talking to your guy that you're talking like, yo, I'm a rare breed. I don't deal with this and you know what I mean. Just you know what I mean. I think you should just scale back a little bit. You know what I mean? Just humble down a little bit and just be like, yo, you're gonna understand. By the end of this day, under this chapter, you're gonna see that I'm different from, you know, some of the other vibes that you've been around. And if you could show that he picks up that approach by himself, then you've done your job.
Right.
You didn't have to voice that and be vocal about it. So be careful on how you throw that word rare out there, because again, I'm not challenging. You may be a rare, and I'm just giving you another opinion or outside opinion on that word rare.
I don't specifically think that's what she did. Like, that's her approach. Like, she would just be throwing that word around. I think she feels her actions co-signed her being rare, which is the case for many people. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, like, I can challenge a little bit of what you said. At the end of the day, I do think that everybody has rare qualities. Again, it just comes down to you as a person. Are you able to identify what those are? You know what I mean? No two people are the same. None. The only things in this world that make us the same are man-made products, are things that we create, things that we put into our bodies, things that we design for society. Those are the things that make us the same. But spiritually, everybody's different. Everybody operates on a different vibe. And I know personally for me, that's why I consider myself rare, because I understand that. I feel like I understand vibrations, I understand essence, and I understand the spirit that people hold. And I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I'm able to identify certain things a lot earlier than I would say the average person. And this might come off sounding egotistical, but to me, it's me knowing who I am as a person. So I feel like I got the credentials to say that. You feel what I mean?
So with that being said, do you feel like you're able to get the best out of people? Knowing that you feel like you can identify certain traits in the people, do you think you're able to bring the best form and the best output from everyone that you meet?
I feel like I'm able to spark that. I I don't know if I can fully do it. Because again, like you said, we're all works in progress, right? We're all still working. I'm still building my story. You're still building your story. So that's a hard thing to say, that I'm able to fully bring out the best in somebody.
And I'll tell you why I say that, just to cut you off and not to be rude about it, but you know, I'm gonna say why I say that, because you know, everyone's heard, you know, tell me who your 5 closest friends are, right, and I'll tell you who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you're that person that always, I'm not saying that leads the group, but if you're always that person that's able to kind of, every time they come around you, there's a different vibe in the group. You know what I'm
100%.
saying? People take their knowledge, their thinking, their day-to-day actions to a new level. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, and I say this, you know, coronavirus, as bad as it's been, you know, it's been a real eye-opening year, man. The last 24 months, or this guy said 24 months. The last 12 months. The last 12 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's been a real eye-opening year for myself, because now it's like, yo, I've used X amount of years in my previous X amount of years, and I've just completely just let it kind of go by. You know what I mean? When there's so many things that you could be doing. you know, and I'll say this for example. I had this job, right, and the guy was a salesman, and he sold me this dream. And I'm saying this right now just to open your eyes. You know what I'm saying? He's a white man. He used to hang with a lot of Guyanese and Trinity folks. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I used to hang with a lot of people that look like you, and you know, in your culture. He's like, I could probably tell you, you know, some of the things that you do right now, just at your age. And this was like 5, 6, 7 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was a while ago. And I'm a young age. Everyone at a young age, we just like to go out, hang out, do whatever. So he can kind of looked at me, and he's like, yo, I can probably tell you what you like to do. I can tell you probably like on Friday nights, Saturday nights, you like to go downtown and hang out with your friends. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not trying to say yes to this dude. I barely knew this guy. You know what I'm saying? But he told me you like to hang out with your friends and do all that kind of stuff. He's like, yo, imagine instead of just living the normal day-to-day life, which is going to hang out and going party and doing whatever, you know, imagine every weekend you're able to go to new heights. You're able to go to different countries every weekend. And in my head, I'm like, yo, what the heck? That's deep. You know what I'm saying? It's all the way you handle your life. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So by working on yourself, you know what I mean? You produce different things. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And if you find yourself doing repetitive things over and over again, maybe it's because some of the actions that you're doing on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? So
your actions, your environment,
right?
The people you let into your life, the energy you let into your life,
the interactions. Yeah.
That's it, man.
2020 is all about, like, you know, social media. You know what I mean? This day and age is social media. Everything on social media. Imagine if you just flooded your social media with influential things that feed your soul, spirit. You know what I mean? Your mental health. When I see people reading books, I always ask them questions. You know what I'm saying? What about this book? Yo, what's that book about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to kind of spark conversation, just to see what type of vibe they're on and what made them read that book. You know what I'm saying? When people say they read books, I'm just like, yo, shoot. You know, for the first how many years of my life, I used to stay away from books. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about this before, you know, in another session. But it's like, I used to stay away from books. But books are powerful things. They can really change your character.
100%. You know, speaking on the subject of books, a powerful thing that I've always heard growing up is pertaining to, you know, just black people in general. You want to hide something from a black person, you put it in a book. You feel what I'm saying? Because, you know, we don't seem to gravitate towards reading. Obviously, we know why. Parts of our history have hindered us from doing that. But, you know, where we are right now, we have every opportunity to educate ourselves and learn new things and put new information into our brains. And not just into our brains, but back out into the world, you know what I mean? To inspire and motivate other people as well. So, you know, all 2021, that's the mind frame, right? That's the mind frame. Inspire, motivate, and hustle, just grind.
So just know part of that is you know, when we talk about partners and stuff like that, is obviously changing some of your character traits. You know what 100%. I'm saying? If you know that your relationships are short period and they last for a short duration, or they last for, you know, they break up for similar reasons, just know that some of your actions led to the downfall of always to that. And I'm saying that just to understand that I know that some of my actions led to some of the downfalls of my relationships in the past. You know what I'm saying?
It's never one-sided, man. It's never one-sided.
I feel like, yeah, everybody should continue to work on yourself, man. If you're able to understand and you continuously watch our podcast and you like the content, you know, we're sharing to the people, then I encourage you just, you know, one day go read a book, man. I can tell you one thing: when you're reading a book, don't read it in front of a TV. Don't read it in front of a place where you feel comfortable, where you're just, you know, it's a hangout spot. Go to a different area. Go to, you know, obviously Chapters is closed. But go read it somewhere where it's, you know what I mean?
Read it in your whip, man.
Yeah, outside your comfort zone. Because, you know, in your comfort zone, you're obviously going to turn on the TV. If it's in front of a kitchen, you know you're probably going to go in the kitchen and get some food, whatever the case may be. But go read it outside, you know, in an uncomfortable place that you're not, you know? That way you're just locked into that one book.
Facts. Put your phone down. Detox from that. And, you know, get it in.
Yeah, man. But I have another question, you know what I'm saying?
Let's get it.
When we talk about relationships, we talk about, you know, your past. What's one of the biggest lessons that you learned at the end of your relationship, or in your relationship, that you took away, that you could share to someone else and be like, hey, this is what I learned, and it's big to me and I value it a lot, I could share to you?
It's one lesson that I've learned is, it really comes down to don't ever think you can control somebody's actions. Everybody's entitled to move how they want to move. at the end of the day, as a human being, the only thing you really can control is yourself. So, yeah, that's really as deep as I really need to take it. Don't ever think you can control somebody. Understand, the best you can do is understand who a person is, and from that point decide whether or not you and that person are compatible. If you're not, then keep it moving. But don't ever think you can control someone, because that's when all the problems seem to happen. You know what I mean? When people get possessive, and people think that you should listen to them all the time, or they should listen to you. That's probably the most valuable thing that I've learned coming out of relationships. And I'm not to say I was possessive or anything like that, but a lot of the times, my common sense is not somebody else's common sense, and somebody else's common sense is not my common sense. So you might think somebody should do something like this, but to them, they don't see it, and vice versa. You feel what I mean? So in that type of situation, I'm just using that as an example. In that type of situation, you got to understand that you can't control somebody. You got to accept somebody for who they are, and hopefully they accept you for who you are. And that's really it, man. That's really it.
That's a good one, because I feel like a lot of times in relationships, people feel entitled that they have some say over what you do.
Yeah.
They have some they feel that they're able to fix this out of you right away. If you go against the grain with somebody, just know you're creating inner problem, whether they voice it to you or not. Just know they're feeling some kind of resentment inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's definitely a big one. I can't even relate to you, because I never felt like I had to, if that's how you felt, you know what I'm saying? Some of your actions that you felt like, at times you may felt like,
Yeah.
I always kind of let people just show their actions, you know what I'm saying? I just be like, hey, your actions will show who you are, you know what I'm saying? And I always kind of voice that in a way where it's just like, yo, yeah, man, whatever you do, it shows exactly how your thought process is, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I always try to make sure, that when I'm speaking, or at least get a chance to have a deep conversation with you, you can understand a little bit of how I think. For me, the biggest thing that I have is not being vocal enough. You know what I mean? In a relationship,
That's a big one too.
It is the biggest downfall to my situation at all, because I you know what I mean? I'm always keep to myself type of dude. You know what I mean? I don't do too much social media. I don't do too much posting. If you guys go on my page right now, there's not much in there, because I've scaled back from that. But again, part of it is being verbal, is being communicating with other individuals about how I feel, and how I want things to be, and how we should position ourselves. And that was definitely a big one, man. I definitely seen the effects of not being verbally inclined in a relationship. And
I think a lot of men can relate to that. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is now? You say men. Why do you think that is?
Again, back to like what we've talked about. We're just taught that.
But even
you keep your emotions in check, and a lot of times when we talk about communication, emotion is heavily involved in that process. So if we're taught, don't show emotion, then obviously your communication skills aren't going to be where they should be.
And I don't think, to be honest, I see a lot of people that still show their emotions. I just feel like it's a group of people that don't. Like, I still see a lot of guys, like I know a lot of people that are able to, voice that. I feel like for myself, like I fit that boat. I'm not one of the guys that like to show my emotions too much, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, when I get mad, you'll barely even notice it. You know what I'm saying? I may just not talk to you. I may just, come through and just, do some rude shit, probably just walk by you type of thing, or just like, what's up, and then just keep it pushing.
Right.
But yeah, vocal, just to kind of go back and close, vocal, not being vocal at all.
Yeah, that's the quickest way to blow up a relationship, man. You gotta have that. That is a relationship.
It's an interesting game, man. It's an interesting game when you're playing with another individual. Again, you're trying to go the distance with somebody. You gotta mesh together. You know what I'm saying? There's some things that got to be sacrificed, and a lot of times I didn't feel like I had to sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
I was in a box, bro. I was literally in a box. For like, yo, this is me, bro. This is me. You gotta take me as
take it or leave it.
You gotta take me as I am.
Yeah.
Not knowing that I have to, I have to adapt.
I think that adaptation comes with age, man. When you understand that a relationship is give and take, and in order to build something with somebody, you guys have to mutually come to to a pass together, to an intersection together, and decide where you want to go from here. So yeah, a lot of that just comes with age. When you're young, you really don't care about none of that. And not to say that we're old or anything, but you know, with age comes wisdom, and also with experience comes wisdom. So the more relationships you're in, hopefully you will have learned from your last relationships, and utilize certain tactics that you probably didn't use before. You know what I mean? You understand, damn, this is where I went wrong here. For this relationship, let me fix that up so it doesn't go that way. You know what I'm saying? But you also got to take into account that everybody's different. Everybody is different, and what might be a problem to somebody might not be a problem to somebody else. So it's about adapting.
For sure, 100%.
About adapting.
100%. Like even you know, you love the girl for who she is as a person. Like, you know, you love them for, you know, how beautiful she is, and you know, as a girl you love them.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you're together, excuse me, when you're together now, you guys are now building on a different level. You know what I'm saying? You guys are living together. You guys will do your finance, your mortgage, you know what I mean? Your kids together.
Mm.
You're now loving. You got to be able to love her, you know, in the other way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where now it's not just the love for your appearance and you know, your heart. You got to love her for every action and every aspect that the person is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, this is me thinking now this week is like, you know, why do people even get in relationships? Do you think people think about this consciously, or they're just following their heart?
You mean following their heart, or following like society? What do you mean? Like,
I guess you could break it down like that.
Yeah.
Where I'm just thinking, like, when people get into relationships, do you think they consciously, I'm gonna get into relationships with this person because we can do positive things together, or just following their heart? Their heart says I love them, so now I want to be closer to them every day.
I think there's a percentage. There's a split percentage. I don't know if it's even, but I would definitely think that more people do it because of the second reason, like they're following their heart or they're following society. Because when you look at television, when you look at social media, when you look at all of these outside factors, even other family members, oftentimes that's what they're projecting onto you. People really aren't. You don't really hear too often, you know, find somebody that you can build with, find somebody that you can structure a life with, that you can teach, that somebody that's teachable, and somebody that can teach you things. You don't really. It's almost like, as a society, we want to skip those steps. We just want to do the falling in the, you know, the whole fairy tale thing, like fall in love. We do the big wedding. We get a house, picket fence, kids, cars, dog, and we just grow old together. And nobody talks about the process. You know what I'm saying?
Discussing
like,
the dog. The dog's a key opponent.
Yeah.
Key component.
But nobody wants to factor in all the work, all the work and the process that is in between those steps leading up to the end. And it's the same thing when it comes to success. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure everybody's seen those pictures of like the iceberg. When you see at the tip of the iceberg, that's success.
That's the success.
But
the
then
glory.
under the water, you see all of the hard work that goes in order.
80%.
You know what I'm
80%
saying?
of the iceberg. Yeah.
100%. I think a relationship is like that, and I think a lot of the times people get into relationships not understanding that at all, and they think, you know, it's just supposed to be like this. I love this person, and we're gonna make it work. And it's like, nah, there's a lot more. There's a lot more components to that. If you don't respect somebody, if you don't truly respect somebody, you can't love somebody. And that's I think that's just a fact. Respect is definitely a component of love. Like, love is just not its own entity. There's so many other things that go into love. Respect, trust, all of those things. All of those things have to be coinciding with each other in order for you to call it love.
I just feel like people vibe off your energy, you know, per se. And originally, like, you know, it doesn't take that long for your heart to start falling in love with people, you know what I'm saying? Your heart can be fooled very easily. So yeah. when I say that, it's just like, man, you know, if you just follow your heart every time into every relationship, you could. Yeah, man, you could do some things that's just gonna damage your heart for good. You know what I'm saying? I've been able to, you know, fall in love with qualities that are just not on the outside. You know what I'm saying? I really get to know somebody when I have these conversations. Just see how their mind works. You know, see what their day-to-day duties are like. See how they, you know, interact with different people. You know what I mean? See how they interact with their parents, their moms. You know what I'm saying? When I see that type of actions, I'm like, holy, this girl is special. You know what I'm saying? This girl is someone who I could see treating my daughter a certain way. You know what I'm saying? This is a girl that if I leave the house, I know she's treating her daughter with the, you know, the utmost respect, and she's treating her daughter to a level where, you know, she's a functioning member, respectable individual of society. So, and I know it comes off as a lot as in all one package, but those are the qualities I fall in love with. You know what I'm saying? And that's just a hint that I'm throwing out there. So when I saying this and I ask that question is because, yo, I don't just follow my heart into a relationship. I actually have to see certain things before I, you know what I mean? I give you that pass from my heart to say, yeah, go for this girl. You know what I'm saying? And not to say I have a complete, you know, lock on the thing, but
you think that's more of a guy thing? Like, do guys do that more than women?
Nah. I honestly I can't speak for anybody else in this particular topic. I feel like more so just for myself and the way I, you know, analyze certain things. Yeah, man, because I've seen people just, you know, like the vibe that this person's on, and then just, you know, ultimately get in a relationship with them, which is fine. I mean, there's no harm. I mean, that's fine if you want to. You obviously build together. You guys work together. And you guys, you know, you guys do your whole thing together. But for me per se, and I could speak for myself, man. I gotta see more. I gotta have more. And I take that back. I don't have to have more.
Rare.
Actually, that goes back to the number one question.
You know what I mean?
I gotta see that rarity in the girl.
You got to.
I gotta see how rare you are. So yo, keep throwing that rarity. I mean, let me see it though.
You know, shout out to the women.
All day, man.
You know, please don't think I'm trying to come at y'all any type of way with the whole rare topic. It goes both ways. I just want to make that clear with men as well. You got to be able to understand what makes you rare. I think everybody's rare. That might sound cliche, but I truly do think everybody's rare. I just think that you have to be able to identify what exactly it is that makes you rare first and foremost, and you gotta give that feeling to somebody else so they're able to acknowledge that, damn, this person is rare. That, like you said, that can't really be something that you just say. You gotta show that. You feel what I'm saying? So shout out to the women.
Yeah,
shout
man.
out to the men.
You're never gonna hear me throw that out there because I you know what I mean? I think a little.
You don't think you're a rare fan?
I think you'll see in the end of the day what comes with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you judge that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to say I'm the best player. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let everything.
Did it.
I'm gonna let you.
LeBron did it.
I'm gonna let you see what's going on. I'm gonna let you see what's going on. I'm gonna see if I impact your life for the rest of your life. If I can hold a piece of your mind for the rest of your life, even your new relationships, that'll tell me I'm rare. You know what I'm saying? If I meet you 20 years down the road and you remember the good times and you remember the bad times, then I'll say I'm rare. You know what I mean? Because bad times are just times we get to work on. Not everything's grass and sunshine. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have them down periods. That's how we came out of it. That's how we came out of it. If I can give you that impression of me later down in life, you still remember me, then I know that I'm rare. You know what I'm saying? I'll leave it right there, just like that.
Honey.
Just like that.
Man, I'm rare. I'm gonna say that respectfully.
And if you feel that way, you should say it. If you feel that way, say it
respectfully.
Say it with your chest and don't whisper that shit.
100%. But yo, again, we're gonna conclude that right here. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting.
For real.
Please hit that like and subscribe, that notification button, so you know when we come out with new episodes, which is every Tuesday, normally around 6 p.m. So
let me say this:
6 p.m. Eastern.
I appreciate everybody, man. The people who've been hitting me up and just showing the love, man. You know, when it comes to this creative space, you know what I mean? That stuff helps us grow. You know what I mean? And every time you share with me, I share with Ness, you know what I mean? What kind of feedback you guys give us. So I appreciate everybody. Even if you have questions on some of the things we have to say, I appreciate all of it, man. For real.
100.
You know what I mean?
And that's that, man. We'll see you next week. Appreciate it. I know.
Yes, sir. 5 in the books, baby.
Jeez.